Hey everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here with another Spidey vlog. 2 weeks ago I did, my last Spidey vlog involved me talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 2. Well, now I decided to do, now I'm going to do one where I talk about season 3 of Arrow. And this might be a very long vlog because I got a lot of this to cover, like a lot of stuff I wrote down that I want to talk about. Okay, so let's get started. Let's get started with Team Arrow. Basically, Oliver Queen, at the start of Season 3, from what we've seen from the trailers, and I believe what the official synopsis said, is that at the start of Season 3, the Arrow is seen as a hero to Starling City rather than a vigilante. And also from the first trailer, we see that Oliver has asked Felicity Stone out on a date, but then if you look when they're starting to flash a bunch of clips, you see that Oliver somehow takes him and a bloody Felicity back to the Arrow cave, and so it looks like something goes wrong there. Also, the flashbacks for this season from Oliver's past, they will involve apparently somewhere in the 5 years he was gone where he wasn't on the island, which he revealed to Felicity and Diggle at the end of last season when he explains how he knew how to fly a helicopter. And apparently, when we look at Oliver off the island during the time he was gone, apparently this will explain his past connection with Amanda Waller. And speaking of, and again, it does feel like he and Felicity are going to sort of be, I guess, starting a relationship this season. And also apparently we will be able to get more background on Felicity herself because there will be an episode entitled "The Secret Origin of Felicity Snow." All right. Also, Diggle is now a father from what we saw at the season 2 finale, where Lila revealed she was pregnant. Also, apparently, there have been some photos of season 3 where we see Diggle looking over his daughter in her crib, and also there's a clip from the trailer where Oliver tells Diggle he doesn't want him in the field anymore. I get the feeling is that Oliver doesn't really want. He knows that Diggle just had a kid, and I think Oliver realizes that there is a danger in the work they do, and he doesn't want Diggle's daughter to grow up without her father. So I think that might be the reason behind that scene where Oliver telling Diggle he doesn't want him in the field, but Diggle reminds him that he'll be dead if not for him. And so I think that might cause some. So I think that will be interesting for Diggle, seeing whether or not he can handle working with Team Arrow and still trying to be there for his newborn daughter. Also, Roy will officially be in costume this season. Roy Harper will officially be in costume as Arsenal this season. I already seen the photos of his costume and it looks good. Thea broke up with. Also, last season Thea did break up with Roy, but now, and I think after that happened, Roy decided to focus more on fighting crime with Oliver, and it's unknown whether or not he told Oliver that he and Thea broke. Well, he probably told Oliver that Thea and him broke up and that Thea left, but I don't think he told her anything about her leaving with Malcolm Merlyn. Also, Roy lost his last season. Roy got super strength from the Mirakuru drug. Now he's basically learning how to use. We saw him last season when he helps Oliver fight Slade's army. He went back to using a bow, and I think when we see him this season, his skills will definitely have improved. So I think in a way Roy will be much different, and instead of relying just on his strength, he'll be using a lot more tools. Perhaps maybe much more than the bow and arrow, since his codename is Arsenal. Also, Sarah Lance, aka the Black Canary, or rather the Canary. I think she's just called the Canary. Anyways, last we saw, Sarah left Starling City because of the deal she made with the League of Assassins for the League to help her and Oliver fight Slade's army. In exchange, she would return with Nisa back to the League of Assassins. But we see in the season 3 trailer that she has returned to Starling City. Question is how long? Because I think Sarah's appearance might just be a brief one rather than her being back full time. And everyone still says that, and there is the theory going around that Laurel could be the next Canary, because which everyone got from the end of season 3 when Quentin and Laurel say goodbye to Sarah. Sarah gives Laurel her Black Canary jacket, so everyone's like, oh man, Laurel could be the next Canary, and I think that's what they're implying. Laurel has been prosecuting the criminals that Arrow has been arresting, and apparently this season she'll be going through some combat training under the tutelage of Ted Grant. Grant, as if you know from the comics, he's Black Cat. So no, Wildcat. Sorry. Anyway, and so maybe if things go well, Laurel could be the next Black Canary. Also, Detective Lance. Well, actually now this season he's apparently a police captain. This season he's apparently dismantled the anti-vigilante task force, and he's also helped show Arrow, and apparently he's still working with Arrow from that we've seen in some clips, but for the most part I think he will be in charge of the Starling City Police Department, trying to clean that up, and also he's going to be trying to build a relationship between the Starling City PD and Arrow to help get them to work better. Also, I think he's going to try to clean up the department. Although it is possible that Detective Lance could be less in the field, because at the end of last season it looked like he was apparently suffering from internal bleeding. So it feels like, and from what we've seen in the trailer, Lance looks like he's perfectly fine and healthy, but I think that could be a darker secret, but that could lead to some hidden medical problems. Like maybe he's trying to keep it secret from the public, and maybe even Laurel that he's still having trouble after what happened to him at the end of season 2. So that might be the reason why he's going to much more, probably taking a position in the police behind a desk rather than being in the field. Also, we will be having some returning villains this season. Count Vertigo not the original Vertigo. We're going to get a new person under the name Count Vertigo in this episode's first season. Apparently the new Vertigo is named Werner Zeidel. So I don't exactly know how they're going to do this. I think this new character could just be redealing Vertigo again. Because in the comics, Count Vertigo is actually a count, and he has some sort of, I want to say his powers serve to disrupt people's senses in a way, to get them confused and dizzy. But however, in the Arrow TV series, there was a drug called Vertigo, which sort of shuts down most of your senses, and Oliver had to deal with Count Vertigo after Thea got into a car crash while she was on the drug Vertigo, and eventually he did take down the Count. Then he killed the Count, but now it looks like there's going to be a new Vertigo back. So I think that might be bringing up. So I think now that's probably a good idea for the start of season 3, as Oliver's kind of like, enjoying being a hero of the city. Now he's got to deal with someone else using the name of one of his more infamous villains, probably digging up old wounds of the last couple of times he went after Vertigo. Also, Malcolm Merlyn, played by John Barrowman, who is apparently a regular this season. When we last saw Malcolm Merlyn last season, he appeared to Moira Queen, telling her, fixing the trial to get Moira off the murder charges. Then he appeared again to tell her about that he knew that Thea is his biological daughter, and however, Merlyn had to leave after Moira told the League of Assassins that Malcolm's alive, and then Malcolm appears at the end of season 2, where he sees Thea at the train station where she's trying to leave Starling City, and saves her a couple of times, but she still doesn't go with him. But when Thea reunites with Roy and discovers Roy's archery equipment, and that he hasn't left the vigilante, and he's still working with the vigilante, she decides to leave Starling City and go with her father, Malcolm Merlyn. I think this season, though, there wasn't much in the full season trailer, but the sort of 1-minute trailer they've been showing on the CW, we see there is a shot of what looks like Thea is going to be training with Malcolm, or at least Malcolm is going to be training Thea, I guess, to be her heir, to be his heir possibly, or he's either going to be training her for either both or one of these reasons. He wants her to be his heir, or he's trying to help make sure she can protect herself against the League of Assassins. It's still unknown whether or not Thea knows that if Malcolm told her that Oliver is the Arrow, because it doesn't really feel like, it feels like the way, if Thea does find out, it's going to be from Oliver. That's what I think the writers behind the show want to happen, because they could have had Slade told Thea, but he didn't. And Malcolm could have told Thea back when he was talking to her at the end of season 2, but he didn't. So I don't know. It is possible that this could be a huge deal for the character of Thea Queen if she does find out this season, because it clearly looks like she's going to be building some kind of relationship with Malcolm this season, and if she finds out about Oliver, it could lead her to pretty much making a choice whether she wants to stay with Malcolm or work with Oliver. Alright, also this season we are going to be getting some new characters from the DC Comics universe. First of all, Ray Palmer, who is played by former Superman Brandon Routh. Ray Palmer will be introduced as a potential buyer of Queen Consolidated. Also, Routh did say that there is going to be an Atom suit this season. It's unknown. I don't think he's going to be donning it, because I think they said that season 3 is going to focus less on superpowers. So I don't think we are going to see I don't think Ray Palmer is going to be suiting up anytime soon. But he will be apparently a sort of potential love interest for Felicity, to kind of give some friction in between the Oliver and Felicity relationship, though. Also, this season's big bad will be Ra's al Ghul, the head of the League of Assassins. His daughter Nisa has already appeared as Sarah Lance's former lover and trainer. The reason why, of course, I have a hard time figuring out, though, what Ra's motivation could be in this season. I really think that I narrowed it down to like 3 possible reasons. Number one, one reason Ra's could be going to Starling City to deal with Sarah returning there himself, because Sarah has left the League of Assassins again. I think the first time Sarah left, Nisa was sent to go bring her back. I think now, though, Ra's is going to go to Starling City and try to get Sarah back himself, because he feels like Nisa has failed twice, and now he has to be the one to deal with this. Another theory is that he could still be hunting Malcolm Merlyn, and eventually, though, and I think eventually Malcolm could realize that he's in over his head, and he and Thea return to Starling City, and he requests help from Oliver. And at that point, Thea finds out Oliver is the Arrow, and it could lead to some sort of forced team up between Malcolm and Oliver, where they make a deal where, I guess, if Oliver helps Malcolm deal with Ra's, then he has to leave Thea alone, I guess. And also, another theory that I think could happen is Ra's al Ghul wants Oliver to be his heir. I think that's highly plausible. Clearly, I think when Nisa tells Ra's about Oliver, he's going to be intrigued by Oliver, and I think he's going to feel like this could be a suitable heir for me, because Ra's has been looking because I think Ra's al Ghul has, for numerous times, has wanted a male heir, and he's had nothing but daughters. So I think he's going to be heading to Starling City to make Oliver an offer to be his heir. And again, this goes back to my whole idea about Thea and Oliver reuniting, is that maybe when Ra's finally finds Malcolm, he takes Thea to Starling City, makes Oliver an offer that he'll kill Thea, unless Oliver agrees to be his heir. And I know this is definitely weird for me, because Ra's al Ghul is a Batman villain, but the guys in Arrow have been doing a good job so far, that I think that Ra's as a villain for Oliver Queen could work. Alright, also we got other new characters. Masio, I hope I'm saying this right, Masio Yamashiro and his wife Tatsu, who in the comics Tatsu is known as Katana, they'll appear in Oliver's flashback this season as his handlers. So we could be getting. So it's possible in the past Oliver could have known Tatsu, and she could return in the present under the alias as Katana. So that could be something. Also, Ted Grant, like I said earlier, Wildcat. He is going to be He is going to be a former boxer running a gym for underprivileged youth, and he will be a big role in Laurel Lance's arc this season, and he will be training her. So we could be looking at Laurel as the next Black Canary. Also, other characters coming up are going to be Mark Shaw, aka Manhunter, Simon LaCroix, aka Komodo, who, if you read Jeff Lemire's run in the Green Arrow series, you know who he is. So I'm excited to see that. Can't wait to see what's going to happen with that guy. Carrie Cutter, Cupid. Ooh, and this next character, Digger Harkness, Captain Boomerang. This could be the character that is the whole reason behind the whole Arrow Flash crossover we're going to get with episode 8 of both seasons. I think somehow Captain Boomerang will probably appear maybe first on the Flash, then he'll appear on Arrow, and that would be what kind of, like, maybe Barry fights him in his episode in Flash, and then Digger escapes and goes to Starling City. So Barry goes to Starling City and meets up with Oliver, and they basically go and deal with Captain Boomerang themselves. Although I could be wrong. I mean, Captain Boomerang, he doesn't really sound like he's going to be that big of a threat that has Arrow and Flash team up. So it's still unknown who the villain will be, but I do feel like since the announcement of Captain Boomerang, I immediately thought, okay, I immediately thought that's probably going to be the villain for the team up. Also, there is a new name for the Flash Arrow team up. It's been reported that the crossover will be called The Brave and the Bold, which I think is a great name, even though that name is highly, because that's basically the name of the comic book that DC used that had Batman teaming up with the various heroes, and eventually it's used to. Eventually, it wasn't just Batman and other heroes, 2 other heroes. So yeah, I think that was a good name for the crossover. Yeah, overall, I've really loved Arrow since the beginning. I'm really looking forward to the season premiere coming out this Wednesday. It's going to be great. It's going to be legendary. I'm really excited. All these theories that I have, I could be right, I could be wrong. Who knows? What do you guys think is going to happen in Arrow Season 3? Give me your theories in the comments below. Also, if you want me to have another topic, if you have a topic for a Spidey vlog, comment with that. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.